So today's topic is RockShox Flight Attendant suspension. I don't want to go as far as to say it's life-changing because it's maybe not that deep, it's just a bike. But this stuff is really, really good. I really think it's the next step in performance on mountain bikes, on cross-country bikes in particular, but mountain bikes in general. I think there's big gains to be had on trail and enduro bikes too. It's available for pretty much all the suspension that RockShox make. It was kind of developed for cross-country, but you can run Flight Attendant on, for instance, a Zeb and a Vivid coil. So on your Mega Tower, for instance, you can run Flight Attendant. I've been using this for a few months now, probably. SRAM were kind enough to lend me some. I immediately bought some of my own because it's just that good. It's really helped me to kind of find some extra gains and a few extra bits of efficiency and kind of changed how I race, which is pretty cool. And you can't say there's too many things that have done that in the last few years. So really exciting stuff. In principle, it is an automatic lockout. It'll find you a little bit more efficiency than previously, particularly on an enduro bike where you don't want to constantly be reaching down to lock your shock out. It does it for you. So on an enduro stage with a long flat pedal, for instance, you probably wouldn't previously be locking out. Now your bike's doing it for you, so it will gain you some time. That's enduro. As you can see, I don't really know much about enduro, so we're going to focus quite heavily on cross-country today, which is why I've brought my Epic, which is equipped with the SID Flight Attendant stuff. So what you need, first and foremost, is a RockShox fork. That's the main thing. Flight Attendant is RockShox only, so in this case a SID Ultimate. Now, you can buy a fork with Flight Attendant equipped, or in my case I just bought the damper bit. So you have a damper which sits inside the fork, and then this bit here is a control module. It's a separate thing that goes on top. This is where all the brains are for the system. So this communicates with the rest of the bike, including the shock. So the shock is a Flight Attendant specific thing. You've got a load of brains in here. That obviously, yes, talks to the fork. The fork informs what it does. And then the kind of important thing is you need either a cadence sensor or a power meter. Now, SRAM make a cadence sensor that fits in the axle of a dub crank. The reason for that is it knows when you're moving and when you're not, when you're pedaling, when you're not. So that can inform the automatic mode for this. Because I would say the main selling point of Flight Attendant is that it's fully automatic. You can run it non-automatic. So another part you can have is a button on the bar, which is the same as a shifter or a reverb remote. And you can override with that, which is quite cool. But that's kind of optional. So I haven't got that. I'm just running it fully auto. So I said cadence sensor. You can also use a Quark power meter. Quark is also part of the SRAM RockShox Everything group. That's where it really comes into its own, I would say, because sensing your input to the bike will inform whether it locks out or not. It's really, really cool. It sets zones based on your power. For instance, for me, if I'm doing over, I think 803 watts, it will immediately lock out without thinking about anything else. Do it as quickly as possible. And then there's 5 zones below that are less informed by power. So for instance, if you're doing a lot less power, it will spend a little bit more time thinking, hang on, what's the ground doing, before it reverts to lockout. It's quite good though, because even if you're doing, let's say 30 watts, if you're still on the road, it will still lock out, but it will just make sure first, and it will think. It's very, very clever. So the power meter is really, that I think that's what sets this apart from a lot of other automatic lockout kind of systems. And that is it. That's pretty much what you need to get this up and running, aside from batteries. Cool thing is it runs off the same batteries as everything else that's AXS. So the same batteries as a reverb AXS, same batteries as an AXS derailleur. So that's quite nice. So that's that. What's quite cool as well is you've got this adjustability where you can alter how biased it is to open or to lock. So you've got like 5 modes. So you can say, right, okay, I want to be locked out pretty much all the time, and I want to take a quite big bump to unlock. So you can have that, and then you can have it saying, I want to be pretty much open all the time, and it needs to be really, really smooth to lock out. And then, yeah, in between. So I'm running mine one from fully open. I prefer the bike to sort of be quite active, basically. But let's say I'm doing a course that, I don't know, you really want to be more efficient, or it is just that bit smoother, then yeah, you can just run it biased to lock a little bit more, and it'll just lock out a bit quicker. So there's that degree of customization, which is pretty handy. I would say for cross country, we've got 3 main benefits as such. Number one for me, and the main reason I went for it, is it takes away the thought of whether or not you lock out. So it frees up your mind, but it also frees up your left thumb, because your left thumb has also got a dropper post to deal with. Now, I would say there's a lot of technical climbs where maybe you don't want your seat at full height. Maybe you want it there or there, just to get a little bit more traction, distribute your weight a bit better. Now, previously, if you're thinking about locking out, going up that climb, then you're neglecting the seat position thing. But actually, you probably gain more from moving the seat a bit. So if you take away lockout, your mind can think about that, and also what gear you're in. As well as that, you are also gaining a lot of efficiency that maybe you wouldn't realise. So if you go up a tech climb, for instance, and it's open for that tech climb because it's particularly rough, then you've got a short, straight, flat, smooth section, and then straight into an A-line descent. Previously, you probably wouldn't have unlocked the suspension just for that small amount of time, whereas this will, because it's so quick in how it reacts. So you're going to gain a split second there. I know it sounds silly, but over a 90-minute race or a long ride, that's going to add up, and it's going to gain you quite a lot. So it kind of feels like the next frontier in performance, because you're just making these small little gains that are going to mount up and win you a race. So that's really good. There you go. Hopefully that's fairly informative on what this does and how it can be beneficial to you. I don't think there's anyone out there that wouldn't benefit from this system. So absolutely get Flight Attendant. In that vein, we're going to run a promotion on Flight Attendant off the back of this. So if you email me at will@brink.uk, hopefully that works. I really think it's worth having for 99.99% of people. Really good stuff. And Ben won't let me do a bike check, so comment below and I can tell you about my S-Works.